Alright, picture this. You've dedicated years of your life to making your dream of living in Australia a reality. You've put in the hard work, navigating a complex and often frustrating immigration process. From skill assessments to rigorous English proficiency tests. From mountains of paperwork to meeting ever-changing visa requirements. You've tackled every challenge head-on. You've followed the rules, met the criteria, and stayed patient through the long wait. But now, uncertainty looms. With an upcoming election on the horizon, discussions are swirling about potential policy changes that could put permanent residency at risk. It's unsettling, to say the least. The thought that everything you've worked so hard for could be jeopardized by shifting political winds is frustrating and nerve-wracking. Once again, immigration has become a political battleground, leaving thousands of hopeful applicants caught in the crossfire, unsure of what the future holds. So, what's going on? Australia is gearing up for an election year, and as always, immigration is one of the most heated and debated issues on the political stage. Every party has a different stance on the matter, with varying opinions on who should be allowed to enter the country, who should be granted the right to stay, and who, frankly, should be preparing to leave. Some politicians advocate for stricter immigration policies, arguing that tighter controls are necessary to protect local jobs and resources. Others believe that now, more than ever, Australia needs an influx of skilled migrants to support economic growth and fill crucial labour shortages. The debate is complex, with strong arguments on both sides, and it remains a key concern for voters. With so much at stake, immigration policies will likely shape the election's outcome, making it a defining issue that will impact the country's future. Upcoming visa reforms. Let's break it down step by step. For quite some time now, the government has been discussing what it calls immigration reform. In the world of politics, the term reform often signals impending changes to policies, and more often than not, those changes may not be beneficial to everyone involved. There has been increasing pressure from various groups to reduce overall migration numbers, tighten visa approval processes, and even reconsider existing pathways to permanent residency. The reasoning behind these proposed changes? Some argue that a high influx of migrants contributes to rising housing costs, placing additional strain on public infrastructure. And, perhaps the most commonly cited concern, competing for jobs in an already challenging labour market. These arguments are nothing new. They resurface time and again whenever immigration policy is debated. While the specifics may vary, the underlying concerns remain largely the same, fueling ongoing political discourse. Australia's skill shortages. But hold on, are migrants really the problem? Let's take a step back and look at the bigger picture. The reality is that Australia is facing a significant skills shortage across multiple industries. There simply aren't enough qualified professionals to meet the growing demands of the workforce. Whether it's doctors, engineers, IT specialists, or other essential roles, businesses across the country are struggling to find the talent they desperately need. Many sectors are actively seeking skilled workers, and in many cases, these gaps are filled by migrants applying for permanent residency. Without them, the labour market would be in even greater distress. If the government suddenly decides to tighten restrictions on PR visas, the consequences won't just impact immigrants hoping to build a future in Australia. The entire economy will feel the strain, businesses will suffer, productivity will decline, and crucial services may face severe shortages. Is Australia PR actually at risk? The short answer, kind of. While PR isn't being completely scrapped, there are ongoing discussions about tightening the system. Some political parties and policymakers are advocating for stricter immigration criteria, aiming to ensure that only the most highly skilled candidates make the cut. This could mean higher English proficiency requirements, more rigorous work experience assessments, and possibly fewer invitations in competitive visa categories. The key concern is the extent of these changes. Will they be minor tweaks designed to fine-tune the existing system, or will they be sweeping overhauls that fundamentally alter the pathway to PR? If the latter, it could become significantly harder for many applicants to qualify. While nothing is set in stone yet, potential migrants should stay informed and be prepared for stricter regulations in the near future. The evolving landscape of Australian immigration remains uncertain. Employer-sponsored visa update. There's also growing discussion about giving more weight to employer-sponsored visas in Australia. Essentially, this means that instead of skilled workers applying directly for permanent residency, PR, on their own merits, they would need to secure sponsorship from an Australian employer to qualify. While this approach might seem beneficial at first, potentially aligning immigration with labour market needs, it raises significant concerns. In practice, it shifts power away from workers and into the hands of businesses, creating a system where employees may feel obligated to stay with a specific employer to maintain their residency status. This not only limits worker mobility, but also increases the risk of exploitation, as workers might fear losing their visa if they push back against unfair conditions. Ultimately, this change could transform the PR pathway into a prolonged, high-stakes job interview, where applicants constantly feel the pressure of proving their worth without any long-term security. Now, if you're currently in the PR process or planning to apply soon, you're probably wondering, should I panic, sell everything, move to Antarctica? Nope, don't do that. The key here is to stay informed and act fast. If you're eligible to apply for PR now, the sooner you secure your status, the better. If you're already on a temporary visa, keep an eye on any new policy announcements. And listen, we all know that politics is unpredictable. What sounds like a big scary change today might turn out to be a minor tweak tomorrow. But one thing's for sure, Australia still needs skilled workers, and that's not changing anytime soon. Whether the pathway gets harder or easier, there will always be opportunities for those who are prepared. What can you do right now? Staying informed about immigration policies is crucial, especially in times of uncertainty. The first step is to keep yourself updated with the latest immigration news and policy changes. However, be careful about where you get your information. Rely on credible sources such as government websites, reputable news outlets, and immigration professionals, rather than unverified social media posts. Secondly, if you meet the eligibility requirements for permanent residency, take action immediately. Don't delay your application while waiting for things to settle down. There is no guarantee that policies will remain stable. Thirdly, always have backup options in case PR rules shift. Could employer sponsorship be an alternative for you? Ultimately, governments change and policies evolve, but Australia continues to seek skilled talent. And as always, if you found this helpful, give it a like, share it with your fellow PR hopefuls, and hit that subscribe button for more updates. See you in the next one.